have mercy upon me, O Elohim, according to your loving kindness. According unto the multitude of your tender mercies, blot out my transgressions. Wash me thoroughly from my iniquity, and cleanse me from my sin. For I acknowledge my transgressions, and my sin is ever before me. Against you, you only, have I sinned, and done this evil in your sight, that you might be justified when you speak, and be clear when you judge. Behold, I was shapen in iniquity, and in sin did my mother conceive me. Behold, you desire truth in the inward parts, and in the hidden part you shall make me to know wisdom. Purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean. Wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow. Make me to hear joy and gladness, that the bones which you have broken may rejoice. Hide your face from my sins, and blot out all mine iniquities. Create in me a clean heart, O Elohim, and renew a right spirit within me. Cast me not away from your presence, and take not your Holy Spirit from me. Restore unto me the joy of your salvation, and uphold me with your free spirit. Then will I teach transgressors your ways, and sinners shall be converted unto you. Deliver me from blood guiltiness, O Elohim, the Elohim of my salvation, and my tongue shall sing aloud of your righteousness. O Yahuwah, open up my lips, and my mouth shall show forth your praise. For you desire not sacrifice, else I would give it. You delight not in burnt offering. The sacrifices of Elohim are a broken spirit, a broken and a contrite heart. O Elohim, you will not despise. Do good in your good pleasure unto Zion. Build you the walls of Jerusalem. Then shall you be pleased with the sacrifices of righteousness, with burnt offering and whole burnt offering. Then shall they offer bullocks upon thine altar.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, Facebook Live. Good morning, good morning. Breaking Strongholds Ministries. Happy Sabbath day, happy Sabbath. This is the day that the Most High have made. So let us be glad and rejoice in it. Let us be glad and rejoice in it. Happy Shabbat. Happy Shabbat. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Show me the way. Show me the way. That's what the song was about. Show me the way. That we could be able to teach the transgressors the ways of his wills. Show me the way, pop, pop. Show me the ways. So good morning again. I hope everybody's week was good this week. I hope everybody will receive what they wanted, what their heart desires. I hope they was able to receive the things that they wanted to receive. You know, I pray that all went well with you and your families. I hope that I pray that you received all the blessings that you wanted to receive this week. You know, we have a lot to do, but a short time to do it in. So I hope everybody's, you know, running everywhere you have to go and not walk, because we don't have time to walk. We got to be running. But if you could turn to the book of Exodus, turn to the book of Exodus or Shema, chapter 20, We're going to go ahead and get started this morning because I have to address something that a guy asked me to address, or I'm addressing something, period, that I need to address. And in Exodus of Shema chapter 21 through 17, and it says, "And Elohim spake all these words, saying, I am Yahuwah thy Elohim, which brought thee out of the land of Mizraim, or Egypt, out of the house of bondage or slavery. Thou shalt have no other Els before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any grave or carved image, or any likeness of anything that is in the heavens above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that in the waters under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, Yahuwah thy Elohim, am a jealous El, visiting the sins or the iniquities of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me, and keep my commandments." And keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of Yahuwah thy Elohim in vain, for Yahuwah will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Shabbat to keep it Kaddish. Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy works, but the seventh day is the Shabbat, or the Sabbath of Yahuwah thy Elohim. In it thou shalt not do any works, thou, nor thy sons, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservants, nor thy cattle, nor thy strangers, that is within thy gates. For in 6 days Yahuwah made the Shemiams of the heavens, and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore Yahuwah blessed the Shabbat day, and hallowed it. Honor thy fathers and thy mothers, that thy days be prolonged upon the land which Yahuwah thy Elohim giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything is thy neighbor's." Let us pray. Father, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us of our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine to your kingdom, power to your glory, forever and ever. So let it be. Happy Shabbat, Facebook Live, Breaking Strongholds Ministry. Happy Shabbat, happy Shabbat. This is the day that the Most High have made, so let us be glad and rejoice in it. He says, show me the way. Show me the way. I want to address something real quick before I get started this morning on something, because I was told that the Jews was considered to be black. Considered to be white. And I wanted to address that from a Bible perspective. When you hear the word Jews, it is an extension of Judah, or Yehuda, because the Y, the J wasn't even in existence, but it was coming from Judah. When you hear the word Jews or Jewish, it's an extension of the word Judah, which is part of the 12 tribes of Israel. So let us go to Jeremiah chapter 8, verse 21. Verse 8, chapter 21. Chapter 8, verse 21. I want to be able to. I want to say this. I want to say this because I want to address that. Because when you hear the word Jews, you're addressing supposedly the African American or Hebrew people here in America. In Jeremiah chapter 8 verse 21 it says, "For the hurt of the daughter of my people, I am hurt. I am black." That is a color, a pigmentation. "An astonishment has taken hold on me." Right here, it is talking about the people are considered to be black. Let's go to Jeremiah. Jeremiah chapter 2. Jeremiah chapter 14, verse 2. Because this can be some misleading things out here. And this is going to help us to understand something. Jeremiah chapter 14, verse 2. "Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are black upon the ground, and the cry of Jerusalem is gone up." In this verse is saying that the tribe of Judah is black. And when we understand that Jews means is an extension from Judah, that means that when you're talking about the tribe of Judah, you're talking about a tribe of black people. Okay? Let's go to Acts chapter 13 verse 1. And I'm not going to read the whole thing. I just want to get this part out. It says, "Now there were in the church that was in Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barabbas and Simeon, that was called Niger." The word Niger is somewhat what we use today in a derogatory term. Nigga. The word Niger in this context means black. Because when they call him Niger, that is a country in Africa that means black. That word Niger in Acts chapter 13 verse 1, it means black. Okay? Let us go to Psalms of Solomon. I don't know if you had Psalms of Solomon. Let's go to the Psalms of Solomon. Let's see what Solomon said about himself. Okay? Psalms of Solomon chapter 1 verse 14 and 15, it says, "My beloved is upon me as a cluster, a campfire in the..." No, that's the wrong one. That is not saying what I need for it to say. So I go back to another one. Let's go to Daniel. No, let's not go to Daniel. Let's go to Lamentations. Lamentations. Chapter 4, verse 8. Lamentations. Chapter 4, verse 8. "Their visions is blacker than a coal. They are not known in the streets. Their skin cleaved to their bones, and it is withered. It is become like a stick." It's talking about the skin complexion of the person's body. Okay, but when we're talking about in Jeremiah chapter 14 verse 2, it says, "Judah mourn, and the gates thereof languish, and they are black unto the ground, and the cry of Jerusalem is gone up." It is talking about the tribe of Judah. Okay? It's talking about the tribe of Judah. The tribe of Judah is black. So, let us go to Matthew chapter 1. And it's talking about the genealogy of Christ, of the Messiah. Understanding that the tribe of Judah is considered to be black. Matthew chapter 1 verse 1 is talking about the genealogy of the Messiah. And when it gives you the genealogy of the Messiah, it is telling you that the Messiah came out of the tribe of Judah. It reads all these things about, it says, so all the generations from Abraham to David are 14 generations, and from David unto the carrying away into Babylon are 14 generations, and from the carrying away unto Babylon unto Christ are 14 generations. So in one specific culture and lineage, the Messiah came out of that lineage, which was considered to be the tribe of Judah, which are considered to be black people. So when you hear someone say that the Jews are black or white, that is a misinterpretation. That's not true. The Jews are black, but the Ashkenazi Jewish people are white. It's a difference, because the Jewish people was grafted in, or they was converts, or they adopted the culture. But the Jews, which comes out of the tribe of Judah, are the real truths, out of the people that came out of the direct lineage of the Messiah. So when you hear someone say that the Jewish people, the Jews are white, no, that's incorrect. The Jewish people are white, which are considered to be the Ashkenazi Jews, which are converts, which adopted our culture. But the Jews, which come out of the lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, out of the 14 tribes, out of these lineage here, they're considered to be black. So when you hear someone say that, make sure you wrote down those scriptures so that you can challenge that person. Not disrespect, but you can challenge that person to make them bring to fruition what they're saying, to prove what they're saying is true. Because what I just read to you is what the scriptures say. It's not what I say, it's what scriptures say. Revelation chapter 1, verse 14 and 15. And it says, his head and his hair was like wool, like white as like wool, and as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass. And that's talking about the Messiah. What color is what is burnt brass? You're looking at it. Or darker than me. As they burn in a furnace, and his voice as a sound of many waters. So when we're looking at that, we have to make sure that anytime you want somebody to walk in the truth, and I got to get started on my other text. Anytime you want somebody to walk in truth or be righteous, you got to tell the truth. You can't tell no lie. Okay? I just wanted to clear that up so that it won't be no misunderstandings about that. That coming from scripture, okay? Let's go to Genesis chapter 19. Verse 13 through 22. Okay. And it's going to verse 13, in Genesis chapter 19, verse 13 to 22. The key verse is verse 14. And it reads, and Lot went out and spoke unto his son-in-law, which married his daughters, and said, Up, get you out of this place, for Yahuwah will destroy this city. But he seemed as one that mocked unto his son-in-law. And Lot went out and spake unto his sons-in-law, which married his daughters, and said, Up, get you out of this place, for Yahuwah will destroy this city. But he seemed as one that mocked unto his son-in-laws. Okay, if I can give a title of the text this morning, the title of the text this morning is, You Can Only Help Who Wants to Be Helped. You can only help who wants to be helped. Okay? And the words this morning is warning. Warning. The word warning means notice beforehand of the consequences that will probably follow continuously in some particular course or future. Warning means notice beforehand of the consequences that will probably follow continuance in some particular course or future. You can only give somebody a warning. Conditions. Particular mode of being of a person or thing. Condition is a particular mode of being of a person or thing. It is an external position, situation, rank, or place, or circumstance. A person, situation, condition, nature, manner of things. A condition is a particular mode or situation of the person or thing that they're in. Okay, so now, when we look at the text, we are very familiar with this story a lot, and how the messengers of the angels came to talk to Lot and to visit Sodom and Gomorrah to see how they was living, to see what was actually taking place in Sodom and Gomorrah. And when we understand that the angels came in to see Lot, and Lot rushed the angels into his home, because he really didn't want the angels to live out and be out in the city and see exactly how the city was. But Lot didn't know why the angels came. But the angels knew why they came, because the city, the abomination that was going on in the city had reached unto the Shemiams, or the heavens. And they was trying to see what was actually going on and see how they needed to deal with the city of Sodom and Gomorrah. So when they visited the city, they saw the wickedness of the city. And they wanted to go spend the night in the streets, but Lot did not want them to spend the night in the city. He wanted to bring them in so that they could be able to make sure that they can come in there and do what they got to do and go on by their business. But they didn't know why. Lot didn't know why they came to the city. Lot didn't know that they came to the city of Sodom and Gomorrah to judge it. Lot probably thought that they were just passing through. So Lot, that's the reason why Lot rushed them in, washed them up, cleaned them up, fed them, and said, hey, you leave them in there in the morning. But this city and this country had such a wicked behavior. They wanted to go in there and rape the men, because that's the conditions of that city. That was the conditions of Lot, of Sodom and Gomorrah. They was wicked. They was full of wickedness and idolatry, and they wanted to go in there and sodomy. They wanted to go in there and rape the angels, even though they didn't know who the angels were or the messengers was. So, they was coming to do the things to the men, and Lot said, no, man, I give you my daughter before I give you these men. And then they said, Lot, since you ain't going to give us them men, we're going to treat you worse than we're going to treat them men. So, in some sense or another, Sodom and Gomorrah had a habit of raping men who go through the city. They had a sense of raping the people. They had a sense of raping men that comes through that city, because it was a wicked place. So, but the people who was living in the city didn't know what was happening. Lot didn't know what was happening. The only person that knew what was happening was the two messengers, or the two men, or the two angels. Okay? So I was a little behind in that text, but I want to go ahead and get in chapter. Let's go to verse 13. Because we understand, once they understood what was going on, now they're going to reveal what they came to do. Now they're revealing to Lot what their plans is for the city of Sodom and Gomorrah. And if I can give a point this morning, I can give 3 points this morning. The first point is, everybody gets a warning before something happens. Everybody gets a warning before something happens. Okay? And it says, this is the warning. This is the warning. It says, for we will destroy this place because the cries of them is waxing great before the face of Yahuwah. And Yahuwah has sent us to destroy it. Now this is the first time that Lot actually knew what was taking place. Actually knew why they was there. This was the first time in the conversation that they actually knew, Lot actually knew what was happening. That word waxing great means increase. The sins of this city has increased so much that it reached the heavens. Okay, so they was telling Lot, we giving you a warning. We're letting you know what we're getting ready to do to this city. We're letting you know what we're getting ready to do to this city. It said, for we will destroy this place because the cries of them is waxing great before the face of Yahuwah. And Yahuwah has sent us to destroy it. They had a mission. They gave Lot what their mission plans was. They told him what was going to happen. They gave him a forewarning. They gave him a warning of what was going to be. Just like, turn to Genesis chapter 6. Turn to Genesis chapter 6, verse 12 through 14. We always giving warnings before something happens. We always are giving warnings. Okay, and it says in Genesis 6 and 12, it says, and Elohim looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt. The conditions was corrupt on the earth, for all flesh had corrupted his ways upon the earth. And Elohim said to Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them. And behold, I will destroy them with the earth. This is what the Most High told Noah. The Most High gave Noah a warning. He said, I will destroy them with the earth. That was the warning to Noah. See, we all have been given warnings. If somebody haven't been given a warning, somebody told them about the warning that they received. So somebody cannot go out here and say that they did not know, because everybody has the responsibilities of passing on the warnings. Let's go to Isaiah. We're talking about warnings, and what I'm trying to do is show you that warnings has been given to prophets and people throughout the covenant. Isaiah chapter 13, verse 3 through 7, it says, for I have commanded my sanctified ones. Listen, I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones for my anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. The noise of the multitudes in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. Yahuwah of armies, or Yahuwah of hosts, mustered the host of the battles. They come from a far country, from the end of the heaven. Even Yahuwah and the weapons of his indignations to destroy the whole land. This is the warning. They come from a far country, from the end of heavens. Yahuwah and the weapons of his indignations to destroy the whole land. Howl ye, for the day of Yahuwah is at hand. It shall come as a destruction for the Almighty. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. This is a warning. They come from a far country, from the end of the heavens, even the Lord, or Yahuwah, the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. Matthew chapter 3, verse 1 through 3. Matthew chapter 3, verse 1 through 3. And it reads, In those days came John the Baptist, preaching in the wilderness of Judea, saying, Repent, for the kingdom of heaven of the Shemiams is at hand. For the kingdom of heavens is at hand. This was a warning from John the Baptist. Let's go to Peter, 2 Peter. 2 Peter 3, 9 through 12. And it reads, listen to this, and this is very important. Yahuwah is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long-suffering to usward, not willing that any should perish, but all should be to repentance. That word repentance means to change your behavior. Come to repentance. Change your behavior. But the day of Yahuwah will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall burn up. This is a warning. He don't want nobody to perish. He wants everybody to make it. But this is a warning of what's going to happen on the earth. It says, but the day of Yahuwah will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall burn up. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of person ought ye to be in all holy conversations and godliness? It's saying, what manner of person ought ye be in all holiness and conversations and godliness, looking and hasting until the coming of the day of Elohim. That word hasting, looking for and hasting, it means waiting, diligently waiting, diligently being patient, diligently seeking, diligently desiring unto the coming of the day of Yahuwah, or Elohim, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwell righteousness. And this Peter is giving a warning of telling you what's going to happen. The Most High has always, let's turn back to Genesis chapter 19. The Most High have always sent his prophets and his prophetess to warn the people of what's to come. He have always did that. And how we look at the people who's talking about what's to come means a whole lot to our salvation. How we look at the people who's saying, how you think they were looking at Noah? Oh, the Most High is on his way back, you better prepare. How you think they were looking at John the Baptist? Oh, the Most High is on his way back, you better prepare. You better repent because the kingdom of heaven is at hand. How you think they were looking at them people? Those who do not have a relationship with the Most High, they was looking at those people as if they were crazy. Because they didn't believe it in their minds of what these people were saying. They can see things going on around them, but if they don't have it here mentally, they won't never believe it physically. They won't do anything physically to prepare. That's why the title of the text say, you can only help who wants to be helped. Because my wife put something out this week on Facebook. She said at the end of it, she said, a person is only going to change when they're ready to change. You can't do nothing for them. It has to be up to the person. So when we're out here speaking the truth to these people, it's up to them whether they want to receive it or not. And if they don't want to receive it, they don't have to receive it. And they're not going to receive it. But let us go to verse 14 and we're going to see this. We're going to see this. We're going to see this. Okay, verse 14. And Lot went out and spake unto his sons-in-law, which married his daughters, and said, up, get you out of this place. For Yahuwah would destroy this city. But Lot seemed as one that mocked unto his son-in-laws. That word mocked, it means made fun of. Means that he was being tricked. Means that he was deluded. Means that he was made a fool of. Means that he was talked about in a derogatory way. Means that he was tricked. He was hoodwinked. So when you look at Lot's son-in-laws, they was making fun of Lot for Lot saying what he said to them. They was talking about Lot. They was telling him, man, you crazy. Get out my face. I don't want to hear that crap you talking. They was mocking Lot. They were making fun of him. Not realizing that Lot had a relationship with the Creator and they didn't. So what Lot was trying to say to them, hey man, this world finna be destroyed. Let's get up out of here. And see, at this moment, I want us to understand something. It's finna be some families that be destroyed. Some kids gonna be destroyed. Some cousins gonna be destroyed. Some uncles, some nieces, some nephews, some husbands, and some wives gonna be destroyed. Because they ain't take heed to the warning. The warning is put out here. And whether you want to believe the warning or not, it's on you. But the warning has been put out here. And if you don't want to deal with the warning, that's okay. You can't say you haven't been warned. Okay? So we see that Lot's son-in-law said, no man, we ain't going nowhere, you crazy. You tripping. Ain't nothing to happen. Where you get that from? I don't want to hear that. Go on about your business. Let me go back to sleep. So in verse 15. And when the morning arose, then the angels or the messengers hasted Lot, saying, Arise, take thy wife and thy 2 daughters, which are here, lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of the city. He's saying, man, get your family out of here so that you will not have to participate in the sins of this city. He said, get your family up out of here so you won't participate in the sins of this city. Let's go to 2 Corinthians. Chapter 6. Verse 17. Chapter 6, verse 17. It says, Wherefore come out from among them, and ye separate, saith Yahuwah, and touch not the unclean things, and I will receive you, and will be a father unto you, and ye shall be my sons and daughters, saith Yahuwah the Almighty. See, in order for us to be received by the Most High, we can't do what the world do. We can't say how the world say. We can't act like the world. We got to separate ourselves from the world. Because of what we see going on, the world can't see it. The world don't close their eyes to the situation. The world don't want to deal with what's actually taking place. See, when we look at the word, let's go back to Genesis chapter 19. See, when the world look at the word of Elohim, or his son Yahusha, when we look at his son Yahusha, or Yahosha, some of us just look at it as it's just words. Some of us don't actually look at it for what it's supposed to be looked at it for. And that's why they don't really get it here. Let's go to verse 16 in Genesis chapter 19. He told them to get up out of that city because don't take a part of their sins, right? And then verse 16 it says, and while he lingered, Lot really didn't want to leave. He like, man, I'm living good, man. I got this, man. I'm doing all right, man. I don't really want to go nowhere. And see, that's how all of us are. All of us that way. All of us are that way to a certain extent, not wanting to get out of Babylon. Because some of us are living too good. A lot of us got benefits. A lot of us are doing pretty well. Even though we're living in a wicked place, we've been barak or blessed enough to live decent. But we can't allow our living conditions to get us destroyed. Because Lot's son-in-law, they didn't want to leave because of how they were living. Okay, and it says, while he lingered, the men laid hold upon his hand. Listen, Lot didn't want to really go nowhere. Lot was like, man, I'm chilling, I'm doing all right. And while he lingered, the men laid hold upon his hands and upon his wife, upon the hands of his wife and upon the hands of his 2 daughters. This is what he's saying. Yahuwah brings merciful unto thee, unto him. And they brought him forth and set him without the city. They had to force Lot out of the city because Lot really didn't want to go nowhere. Lot said, man, shoot. I'm chilling, man. I got it going on. Man, I don't want to go nowhere. I'm content with where I am. Lot lingered at the door, but they had to force Lot. They had to force Lot out. They had to make Lot leave. Now, excuse me. Now, once they put Lot out the city, after you get the warning, you're going to get instructions. Once they put Lot out the city, they gave him instructions. Okay? They gave Lot instructions. Now let's look at verse 17, and it reads, and it came to pass when they had brought them forth abroad, meaning taking them out of the city, that he said, listen, this is one instruction, escape for thy life. Escape for thy life. 2, look not behind thee. That's 2. Neither stay thou in all the plains. Don't go into the plains of the area. Don't go to a specific area. Neither stay thou in all the plains. The word plains means talent. It says a circle, that is by implication a region, specifically a valley of the Jordan. Also a round loft, and also a talent. But he was saying, do not go into the plains. You got to go to a specific area that you need to go to. That's 3. Then it says, escape to the mountains, lest thou be consumed. Those are 4 specific areas. Those are the instructions that they gave Lot. Escape for thy life, look not behind thee, neither stay thou in all the plains, and escape to the mountains. See, when the Most High is talking to his anointed ones, he gives them specific instructions on what to do, how to do it, and when to do it, and where to do it. And see, when the Most High is speaking to people, and he's trying to tell people, and that person, and the anointed one is trying to tell people, some people ain't going to listen or take heed to what's going on. So they're going to stay in their same conditions. They're going to stay in the same physical and mental conditions that they're in because they ain't taking heed to. They don't want to take heed because they living too good. But the messengers of the angels had to force Lot out. And sometimes we're going to be forced out of conditions. Even though we don't want to stay, we're going to battle, we're going to linger, I want to stay. But the messengers and the angels are going to tell us we got to go. The messengers and the angels going to say, hey, you don't have no chance, you ain't got nothing to do, you got to go. Just like I was woke up on the last Shabbat at 3 o'clock in the morning with a nudge on my leg and nobody was standing there. Practicing, waking me up. Let's go to Genesis chapter 6 verse 14. when he told Noah what he was going to do, when he told Noah what he was going to do, after he told Noah what he was going to do, this is what he told Noah in verse 14 in chapter 6 in Genesis. This is instructions. This is how Noah was going to be able to escape the flood. How Lot was able to escape the flood. He had to run for his life. He couldn't look back. He couldn't go to the flat grounds, and he had to go to the mountains. Okay? Because the fire would consume him if he went on a flat ground. But because the hills, if he went up into the mountains, the hills and the valleys that was in the mountain, he could hide behind. Okay? In Genesis chapter 6 verse 14 it says, this is instructions for Noah. Make thee an ark of gopher wood. Room shalt thou make in the ark, and shall pitch it within and without pitch. This is the beginning of how he could build the ark. Noah probably didn't want to leave. Noah probably wanted to stay because Noah was living good. But do you understand the anguish that these people was going through in their minds because they didn't really want to leave the situation? The struggles and the fights that they had within themselves because they didn't want to leave the situation. But in order for you to live, you're going to have to leave. Not just physically, but mentally. Lot had to prepare himself. Also, Noah had to prepare themselves mentally for the separation from the people. This wasn't just a physical thing. This is also a mental thing because he had to build that ark for 120 years. And he had to deal with that every day. Noah probably was still trying to talk to those people, but they wasn't listening. But it was killing him emotionally because he understood what was coming and the people didn't take heed to what they were trying to say. And it hurt Noah, I'm probably sure. But he still had to do what he had to do for himself. Let's go to Deuteronomy. Chapter 11. Verse 12. Deuteronomy chapter 11 verse 12. It says, a land which Yahuwah thy Elohim careth for, the eyes of Yahuwah thy Elohim are always upon it, from the beginning of year even unto the end of the year. It shall come to pass, if ye shall hearken diligently, listen to this, if ye shall hearken diligently unto my commands, which I command you this day, to love Yahuwah your Elohim, and to serve him with all your heart and with all your souls, that I will give you the rain of your land in due season. The first rain and the latter rain, that thou mayest gather in thy corn, and thy wine, and thy oil. He said, if means that you got to do something. If ye shall hearken diligently unto my commandments, which I command you this day, to love Yahuwah your Elohim, and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul. This was the commandment. This was the instruction. They had to do something in order to get something. Lot had to listen to the instructions in order not to be burned up. Let's go to Hebrews. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 3. This is apple cider vinegar, garlic, honey and tea, and turmeric. Hebrews chapter 3 verse 12. Listen. Take heed, brethren, lest there be any of you an evil heart of unbelief in departing from the living Elohim. But exalt one another daily while it is called today. Instructions, lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin. For we are made partakers of the Messiah, of the Mashiach, if we hold the beginning of our confidence steadfast until the end. These are instructions. For we are partakers of the Mashiach, if we hold the beginning of our confidence steadfast until the end. We got to do something. Instructions was given. 1 Timothy 4 and 16. I'm going to read 15 too. It says, meditate upon these things. Give thyself wholly to them, that thy profit may appear to all. Profiting may appear to all. Take heed unto thyself and unto the doctrine. Continue in the doctrine. For doing this thou shalt both save thyself and them that hear thee. This is the instructions. To take heed unto thyself and to thy doctrine and continue in them. In doing this, thou shalt both save thyself, Lot saved himself, and them that hear them, and those who listen to Lot. If people don't want to listen to the instructions that was given, how can they save themselves? If they don't want to listen to the anointed ones, when they mock the anointed ones, they're going to be like Lot's son-in-laws. Okay? Let's go to verse 18. Now Lot finna do some negotiating. And Lot said unto them, oh, not so, my Lord. Behold, now thy servant has found grace in thy sight. Now Lot is telling you, I found some mercy, I found grace in you because you coming to me to save me. He said, and thou hast magnified, increased thy mercy. The word magnify means increase. Thou hast increased thy mercy, which thou hast shown unto me in saving my life. Lot recognized they saved his life. Just like we tried to save people's life. He's acknowledging that. Okay? He said, I cannot escape to the mountains, lest some evil take me and I die. He said, behold now, this city is near to flee unto. It is a little one. Oh, let me escape thither. Is it not a little one? My soul shall live. Lot said, I know I can't make it to the mountain because somebody may kill me along the way because that's a long way off. But let me make it to this little small city over here. I know I can make it down. I may not be able to make it to this place over here, but just let me make it right here. I'll be all right there. See, He's giving us a way out. He's not going to tempt us more than we can bear. That's part of the temptation now. And I talk about the decisions. He's not going to put more on us than we can bear. He's not going to tempt us more than we think we know we can do. So Lot came and said, man, don't let me go to the mountain. Let me go to this little small city right here. They said, okay, let's see what they said. And he said unto him, and he said, and the messenger said unto Lot, see, I have accepted thee concerning this thing also, that I will not overthrow this city for the which thou hast spoken. Listen, he said, I understand what you're saying, Lot, and I appreciate what you're saying. I accept what you're saying. He said, because I ain't going to overthrow the city yet. He said, I ain't going to overthrow the city yet. It says, haste thee, escape thither, for I cannot do anything till thou become thither. Therefore the name of the city was called Zar. The man said, okay, Lot, I ain't going to do nothing until you get where you got to go. Okay, you ain't got to go to the mountain, but you can go to the little small city. And see, a lot of us saying, man, where we going to go? Where we going to go? What we going to do? What we going to do? They're going to always make a way out for you. Those who's listening, those who's taking part in it, those who's listening to the words of the Messiah, they're gonna always make a way for you. They're going to always make a way for you. They're going to always leave a way out for you. Because Lot listened and obeyed what the angels of the messenger said, Lot was saved. Let's read. Okay, let's go to Genesis. Chapter 26. And I'm going to get back to that text in a minute. Genesis chapter 26. Verse 3 through 5. Listen to this. Let's go to verse 2. Let's go to verse 2. This is the promise that the Most High gave to Isaac. And this is the conversation that was between Isaac and the Most High. It says, and Yahuwah appeared unto Isaac and said, go not down into Egypt, dwell in the land which I shall tell thee of. Didn't the messengers tell Lot where to go? Didn't the angels or the messengers tell Lot where to go? Isn't the Most High speaking to Isaac right here? See, sometimes when we don't know what to do, He going to always send somebody to us, or He going to talk to us personally. And see, me and my wife was talking about this week. Because her and I was talking, and she said one day she was driving and listening to the GPS to get her to a destination, right? And she said that the Most High came to her and said, when it's time to do something, I'm going to be like that GPS. I'm going to tell you where to go, when to go, and how to get there. We just going to have to listen to the GPS. Which they call God promised standards. Okay, verse 3. Sojourn in this land where I tell you, and I will be with thee, and will bless thee, for unto thee and unto thy seed I will give all these countries, and I will perform the oath which I swore unto Abraham thy father. and I will make thy seed to multiply as the stars of the heavens, and will give unto thy seed all these countries, and all thy in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. Once the warning has been given, the instructions be given, we got to obey the instructions. We got to obey the instructions. Listen, and Yahuwah appeared unto him at Isaac and said, Go not down into Egypt, dwell in the land which I shall tell thee of. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with thee. Now, if Isaac don't go where the Yahuwah tell him to go, the Most High won't be with him. He told him where not to go. He said, go not down into Egypt, but go where I tell you to go. And when you go where I tell you to go, I will be with thee and will bless thee, for unto thee, unto all thy seed. When you have been given instructions because of a warning, you got to listen to the instructions and take heed in order for the Most High to be with you. And if you don't, He won't. And that's something we got to understand. Let's go to Psalms 119, I'm sorry. Psalms 119. Four through 6. Listen to this one. It reads, Thou hast commanded us to keep thy precepts diligently. This is the instructions. Oh, that my ways were directed to keep thy statutes. Then shall I not be ashamed. When I have respected unto all thy commandments, I will praise thee with uprightness of heart of mind. When I shall have learned thy righteous judgment, I will keep thy statutes. Oh, forsake me not utterly. Wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his ways, by taking heed thereto according to thy words. We have to obey the instructions. Thy words have I hid in my heart, that I might not sin against thee. Blessed art thou, O Yahuwah. Teach me thy statutes. With my lips have I declared all the judgments of thy mouth. I have rejoiced in the ways of thy testimonies, as much as in all riches. When we obey the instructions, how can we not be blessed? How can we not be protected? John chapter 14. And I'm closing with this one. John chapter 14, verse 12 through 15, and then we're going to skip down to verse 21. And it reads, Verily, verily, I say unto you, that he that believeth on me, the works that I do, shall do also. Shall he do also. and greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father. We got to do some work too. Whatsoever ye shall ask in my name, that I will do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son. If ye shall ask anything in my name, I will do it. If you love me, keep my commandments. The word keep means to obey. Let's go down to verse 21. He that has my commandments and keepeth them, obey them, he it is that loveth me. And he that loveth me shall be loved of my Father, and I will love him and will manifest myself to him. So did the Father love Lot because Lot tried to do the right thing? Lot was saved. He made it to the city. Now let's go back to Genesis. Let's go back to Genesis 19. Listen. Let's go to verse 21, 23. I'm closing. Okay, let's go back to verse 22. It says, haste thee, escape hither, for I cannot do anything till thou be come thither. He said, Lot, I can't do nothing until you get where I told you to go, where you going to go. You got to hurry up and get up out of here, Lot. He said, therefore the name of the city was called Zar. The sun was risen upon the earth when Lot entered into Zar. Lot made it to the location. Lot made it to where he needed to be. Lot made it to the promised land. His daughters them made it to the land. His wife made it. Everybody who listened to Lot made it to where they had to go. They was in their place physically. They was in the place physically. When you take heed to the word and you listen to the messengers and the angels, they don't have no choice but to protect you. But when you don't, we know what happened to Lot's wife, and I'm not going to get into that. But when you listen to the word and you take heed to the word, you will make it wherever you got to go, whatever you got to do. But those who don't won't. Then Yahuwah rained upon the Sodom and Gomorrah, brimstones and fire from Yahuwah out of the Shemayim. That means the Lot's son-in-laws died. They died because they didn't want to listen to Lot, because they mocked Lot. They thought Lot was crazy. They thought Lot was crazy. His son-in-law didn't make it. Now his daughters them are by themselves. We know what happened to his wife. She didn't follow the instructions. We don't know why she didn't follow the instructions. It was maybe because of she hearing all the stuff, all the commotion going on. We don't know why his wife turned back. There was a lot of emotions going on in that situation. But what am I saying? You can only help who wants to be helped. You can't do no more, no less. Lot couldn't help his son-in-law. They laughed at him. They mocked him. They thought he was crazy. Lot got his way to the promised land, but because she didn't follow the instructions, that's why she turned into a pillar of salt. getting ready to go through some times where we already almost been given the warning because of the conditions of the element. It is up to us to take heed to those instructions that was given to us. And if we don't take heed to the instruction, either we can be like Lot's wife and son-in-laws, or we can be like Lot and his two daughters. Because you got to realize that they made it to the promised land. They made it to the place. They made it to the place where they needed to be. But if we don't follow the instruction when we get there, don't mean nothing. So I want us to be very mindful of the condition of our society. Be very mindful of what's taking place. Take heed to what's going on. Listen to the instructions if you want to be saved. But if you don't want to be saved, do what you want to do, how you want to do it, the way you want to do it, and just be off the chain. Let's see what happened to you. But I want us to understand something. Do the best you can do while you can. Because this is basically what it is for you. This is a message of don't put too much pressure on yourself. Don't overexert yourself. Don't extend yourself more than you should. Just be. Don't put pressure on yourself to feel like you gotta. Because you don't. You put it out there, you leave it alone. Let the Most High do the rest. This is for you just to be relaxing, listening, and doing. Amen. So let us pray, and then we're gonna close it out and finish having a Sabbath. I hope I hope you enjoyed the message. I thank you for listening. I thank you for you giving me your hour and 25 minutes of your time, because that's something you can't get back. I really appreciate it. I hope this teaching was good for you today. I don't do nothing without the Most High telling me. So I just want us to be able to understand we can only help the people who want to be helped. And you can only do what you can do. Don't put no more pressure on yourself than you should. Just be the best you can be. And those who want to listen, let them listen. But those who don't, kick the dust off your feet and keep it moving. Amen. So Abba, as we come to you today, we thank you, we bless you, we praise you. Abba, we give you all the honor and the glory. Abba, we just thank you for who you are, what you have done, what you continue to do. Abba, we have been given dreams, we have been given visions, we have been given warnings through prophets and prophetess. We have been given so many, and even through your word, we have been given so many warnings, Abba, so we don't have an excuse. We don't have an excuse for not following your instructions because of the conditions of our society. We see that our society is wasting away, but it's actually you purifying it with fire and brimstones, meaning that we understand that you have to cleanse the land. We understand that you have to let your will be. We understand that we have to allow your will to be done on earth as it is in the Shemims or in the heavens. So we just ask that you give us this day with daily bread. Let us be happy with what we have and where we at in our state, because we know that you're in control and you're in charge. We ask that you just continue to just do your will upon the earth. But let us take heed to the warnings. Give us the strength to do the instructions and to obey the instructions. Because It takes fortitude and it takes strength to obey instructions in the midst of a disastrous moment. We really have to be listening to you and not be distracted during this disastrous moment. So let our ears hear your words more diligently. Let our eyes see your actions more diligently. And let our mouth speak to you so that we can hear your words of instructions to our minds and our hearts so that we can do what you have called us to do. Father, a lot of us are still in disbelief. A lot of us are still in whatever state that we're in because we never thought that we would be in this time and this moment. But we ask that you give us rest. We ask that you give us patience. We ask that you give us guidance. We ask that you just be with us because we're nervous. We're scared. We are insecure in our own abilities. We know that you're going to have to step in to help us because it's like a deer getting caught in the car in the headlights. We're shocked at reality because we really seen your word come to fulfillment. That is something people believe but really didn't believe because they never thought it would happen in their day and time. But here we are at this moment, Father. We ask that you just continue to lead and guide us like you guided Lot, like you guided Noah, like you guided Elijah, like you guided your sons. We ask that you just continue to guide us. And in all these things we pray in Yahuwah's name. So let it be. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Like I said, thank you for watching. Thank you for everything that you do. And we just ask that you just continue to pray for us and pray for yourselves and the family. Have a blessed day.